Wait, 1 second.
Hello, guys. Welcome back to SWS Boxing. Delighted to be joined with Andrew Deaker from Anything Blows, and we're doing a reaction video, like a card review of the Ellis Zorro Luca ortenzi fight and the undercard as well. And good to get you back on.
Yes, it's good to be back on, and it was a great night of boxing, a lovely Friday night of boxing.
I do like a good Friday night show. And the first fight on the card was Sam King v Dwayne Grant, and Sam King dropped Dwayne Grant twice in round number one.
Yeah, he dropped him down twice. I briefly managed to catch that one because I was on and off. But yeah, Sam King looked very good. Heard a lot about him. I believe he's another one of the Epping boy, Peacock boys.
And of course, he did put him down, which not many people put down Dwayne Grant, and he did him twice as well. Dwayne Grant saying he was a bit of ring rust since he hasn't been in there since March, but he got up and he still stayed in there, even though Sam nearly got him out of there. Dwayne showed how tough he is and managed to stay in there. And fair play to Dwayne Grant, but Sam King, it looked good from Sam King against an opponent who doesn't really get stopped and nearly stopped him as well. So very good performance from Sam King, in my opinion. And that moves Sam King to 1-0. And it was a 40-34.
34.
Yeah. We said 40-36, but we knew it would be on points. But didn't
Just didn't know the knockdowns.
yeah, Sam King did better than we thought and looked good as well. So good, well done to Sam King and also Dwayne Grant for staying in the fight. Then we had Chris Bourke as he stopped Adam Mwengba in round number 4 from a body shot. And yeah, but Chris Bourke started off. He did what he needed to do. He came out a bit cagey, but when he was, because the Tanzanian was a bit wild with his shots, just a bit wild with the shots, and he was missing a lot. Didn't really catch Bourke clean, and Bourke was just using his jab well, in and out, switching stances. He looked clinical, and it was good to see him get a stoppage win, of course, against a tough opponent. But with Chris Bourke, apparently he is. I know we said he was super bantam, but he's gone down to bantam. I forgot.
Oh,
So
okay.
he said that he wants to fight either Sean McGoldrick, who's the British and Commonwealth champion, or Thomas Asumba, which I do believe would be two good fights for him, and it'll be interesting to see how he does at bantamweight. And I do believe he will take over the bantamweight division. And very good performance overall from Chris Bourke, would you say?
Yeah, 100%. That's another one I luckily got to watch live because I wasn't editing at the time. But no, it was a great fight, great contest. And as you say, with that, BoxRec does it sometimes because when someone's contested at one way, Masood Abdullah, which we'll get onto later, but his BoxRec says super bantam where he's actually featherweight because he fought at super bantam at one occasion. But no, 100% good guy, another good guy to add to the bantamweight division and a good mix and building up the British scene because at the lower levels, apart from the top 10 or top 20, there's not that many that are progressing in the lower weight classes. So, yeah.
And then we had Carl Falvey, Angel Amalov, and he won on points. He won 78-74, which I do believe 6 rounds and 2 a draw. But yeah, I thought that was fair. I thought Angel did try and have a go. At times, I was like, is Angel going to stop him? Because he had Carl going in the fight. But Carl kept... It was a bit of an all-out war, a bit of a good fight. But at the end of the day, Carl that was a good learning fight for Carl. And I think that will get him in good intention for a title either next year. Yeah, probably next year. I reckon he'll start to go for titles. But tough night for him, but he got the job done, which is the main thing. And he moves to 10-0 now.
100%. And as we did say on our prediction video, it is going to be very hard to stop Angel because I believe he's only been stopped 2 or 3 times. And yeah, we did call the decision as well. It was a great performance from Carl. Like I said again, and we'll get onto it after as well, the other guys. But 3 brothers were on the show, the Frampton, Frank, I'm sorry, Fail and Moses. Well, not Moses. Carol. They're Tama brothers, but one half of the brothers, not both of them. But
Yeah,
yeah, they all of the brothers won. So yeah, and it was a great night from Cole, and he's leveling up. And I've heard a lot about him, not only from Denzel Bentley, but many people from the Peacock Gym.
Does he train in the Peacock Gym?
So I think they base out of Finchley with because Anis Taj said he trained with them, but again, I see it all on their Instagram that they're like retagged in the Peacock Gym in Epping, so could be a bit of both.
And then, in my opinion, fight of the night. We'll get on to who I think stole the show, but fight of the night: Joshua Frank and George Davey, and we said that it would be Frankham by 1 point, and we got it right.
Yeah, we did.
We said it would be
great...
a really close fight, and I mean, when it gets uploaded on YouTube, I'll probably watch it again and again because that's just a quality fight. And in my opinion, maybe down the line we'll see a rematch for the title because that was absolutely just quality fight. First 4 rounds where I thought it went Davey, Frankham, but they were close and they were competitive rounds. So you wouldn't argue if they went, muddle up my words, but if they went to any of the fight, you couldn't have argued if round 1 went to Frank and round 2 went to Davey because it was so close. First couple of rounds, I think Davey felt quite comfortable with the pace. He was dictating the pace, but he was the back foot fighter. He was rolling, slipping the shots, he was trying to counter Frankham. Frankham was more of the aggressor. George Davey was more of the slicker boxer. But round 5 was like Frankham was 100%. That was Frankham's round. He was picking his shots well. At times, he hurt Davey. Looked like he was going to stop him. And I said to, I forgot, I was talking to Levi Giles. I was messaging him. And I said, Frankham's going to stop him next round. And I said, Davey's hurt. And he goes out for the 6th and Davey drops him.
Yeah. And it's one of those fights, literally, again, as you say that, after the 5th, 6th round, I couldn't score it anymore because it's an all-out war. You really can't really score that. Obviously, it was such an even fight. It wasn't like a war where, okay, he's got 20 plus shots more than him and he's coming in more aggressive and he's just coming in for a counterpunch. No, both men were going at it. And again, do you believe that was the fight that stole the show for you?
I do, but I'll get on to the person who I think stole the show, and I think we'll both agree on that. Do you think that was fight of the night, or are you saying something else?
I believe Masood's was dominating, and so was Carol's. But Carol's, I feel like it wasn't spoon fed because I don't like that saying, but I just feel like it was just getting back in the mix with it. But yeah, I do feel like it was Masood or Joshua. But I think Joshua. If I had to put it on my heart, I love Abdullah and I love Masood, but same person. But I think that Joshua fight is one of those fights where you hear it throughout people that aren't even boxing fans. And they'll talk about, oh, do you see the Frankham fight last night? And they'll tell their mates in a pub and tell other people that, do you see the Frankham fight? Because not in a bad way, but the Abdullah fight wasn't as, it was dominating. It was like a Dustin Poirier and Max Holloway the first time round or second time round.
We'll get onto that one in a minute. But after that, 7 and 8 7 was probably Davies, and then that 8th, Joshua Frankham. I think that in the judges' eyes, that took it for Frankham. And Davey thought he was already won. He was getting backed up in the corner, he was struggling to get out. But I think overall, I thought Davey had it just on that knockdown. But when I heard the decision, I was like, I can't argue because it was such a close fight. I thought Davey just done enough to nick it, but it went Frankham's way. But great fight from both, and Davey will come back from that defeat. And I really want to see that for like a WBC silver or an English or just an area, or I think they're both above area, but I mean, for a bout in the future over 10, because what a fight that was, fight of the night. And then we had Masood, the new WBC silver, no, not WBC silver, Commonwealth silver featherweight champion, as he retires Mark Leach in the corner at round number 7. Just right from the get-go, Masood put him on it. I said Masood would start fast, but Leach, he was cutting off the ring really well. using his jab, and he hurt Leach as well. At the end of round 6, 7, and 5, I was like, how is Leach still standing? Because he's an absolute warrior. I thought the weight could potentially play a factor. I expected more from Leach, but I saw what he was doing. He was just trying to get one shot, then move, 1 or 2 shots, then move. You know, just not enough shots to win the fight. Just try and pick the shots, then move. But that's what he needed to do. But Masood moves on, and that was a brilliant performance from Abdullah. And now he's calling out Nathaniel Collins, who's the British champion. So, I mean, and Leach was a fellow British champion, even though that was a smaller weight. But still, no one did that to Mark Leach in a dominant fashion that Masood did. I mean, Liam Davis, but Masood really had him going and really nearly got him out of there. So, amazing performance from Abdullah. And again, in my opinion, performance of the night. Like, it was one-sided. So, I mean, the performance of the night was Masood, because I was very, very impressed. I said he would win on points, but Masood moves on. And I think Leach will go back down to Super Bantam, because that's where he'll be good at. And probably come back stronger, probably fight, get an English or British and try getting that Super Bantam mix. But for Abdullah, he moves forward, and a great win for Masood.
Yeah, 100%. As you say, like they do in the UFC, there's a performance of the night and then there's a fight of the night or knockout of the night. The Frankham fight, which he just spoke about, was by far the most entertaining, but Masood was the most dominant and one-sided beatdown, and it was great. Like you said, Mark Leach, no one's ever done that to him before. Liam Davis, yes, but it was on a different exchange, different type of fight. And yeah, Masood's just a killer. And you mentioned Nathaniel Collins. Nathaniel Collins was actually ringside, so he kept a little bit quiet, because I'd have thought he might have jumped in the ring or come out for his post-fight interview. He didn't jump in, so I'm not calling him scared, but I'm just saying he's just staying on the fence for that one. But yeah, Mark Leach, tough, man. And I thought in the 7th round, I was like, oh, he's just holding on for dear life, because his head did bobble a little bit. So yeah, great performance from Masood from the 1st round to the 7th, I think, 7th round to him, dominant fashion. And yeah, and the new sorry, again, I'll make the same mistake. And the new Commonwealth silver featherweight champion, and hopefully goes on to fight Nathaniel Collins for the British and Commonwealth.
Yeah, the winner of Collins Miller, because I think Collins is probably just staying quiet because he's got a fight same night Ben Lee fights Heaney. So
okay, makes sense.
Yeah, and then we had co-main. It was Karol Atuma v Dimitra Fadaz. Karol did what he needed to do and just got the job done. Whether he rematches that other, did he look great? I mean, he did what he needed to do. It wasn't pretty from him, but I mean, I said, don't get silly. We said, don't get silly with it. And I said, don't try and get yourself into a dogfight. But what he did, he used his jab. And even though it wasn't the best of fights to watch, he got the job done, which is the main thing.
Yeah, 100%. And it was a great performance. As you said, I believe similar with Ellis's opponent, his opponent had lost his last 3 outings. So it wasn't a guy that you're going to steamroll past, but it's a guy that's not on the highs, and you're expected to win. But Moses again, I'm making mistakes. Karol made it. Karol made it a good outing, good performance. Moses was there in the arena because I could see him on BE or TNT, should I say, and people would like just getting pictures of him, and he was in the background. But yeah, great performance from Karol, and yeah, he moves on and he's back to winning ways, and hopefully rebuilds his career. And his career's never done. It's never going to be done, or never going to be over. But just moving past that traumatic night at January 28th.
I think maybe one more warm-up fight, then titles. But yes,
100%.
Try and get back into that title scene. Then we had Ellis Zorro winning by unanimous decision against Luca di Ortenzi, and I'll let you start with it.
In all honesty, it was a great outing. Ellis had me scared for about in the 3rd or 4th round when di Ortenzi caught him against the rope,
didn't he?
But apparently, some fighters have said it was something to do with the nose, but other fighters said it was a head clash, a clash of heads. I think, again, regardless of what it wasn't the best start. But then Ellis, after round 2, 3, he was using a right hand, coming back in, coming back out. He was picking his shots, and there was times in the earlier rounds that it felt slow, and it not only felt slow, but it felt like, oh, this isn't the same as a Jose Alberto fight. As they said, this guy Luca Ortenzi is #1 ranked cruiserweight in Italy. Obviously, not to disregard any nation, but comparing the Italian scene to the British scene is completely different, because you could fight someone in the UK that's 20th ranked or 30th ranked, and I think they still give you a hard fight. I just don't know how in depth the Italian boxing is, especially in a cruiserweight division. But to be #1 shows a lot. So he fought the best in Italy, one of the best in Europe if you go along that, former IBF champion. Great guy, great opponent. Just a thing across the ropes, but again, could it have been a clash of heads or a nose? I need to watch it back, but I do think there was something there, because Ellis would not have just stayed there for no reason. And yeah, it was a great performance. Ellis got back into it, and I feel there were about 3 or 4 rounds. I'd say 7-3 on my eye, 7-3 if not 6-4 to Ellis.
I would say 8-2, 7-3, but there's no way it was 6-4. I thought that was a bit too close, but
No,
he did what he needed to do when he moves forward. Maybe I don't think he'll go down that British route. I think he's just focusing on the international sort of belts. You know what I mean? Don't think
for Ellis.
Yeah, I don't think he's going down the British route. I think he'll stick to sort of the international sort of belts.
Yeah, because the cruiserweight division is stacked in the UK. Look, you have Chev Clark that has the IBF. You have Mikhail Lowell that has the British.
I mean, they could still fight because they've got European. If that's where Chev and Ellis want to go down that sort of European routes, then maybe they can fight. But there's good fights out there for Zorro in the European scene and more. But yes, overall a stat night of boxing, and yeah, I can't. Yeah.
And what was your take on that main event? Do you feel Ellis performed great compared to the Jose fight?
No, I thought it wasn't his best fight. It was out of 10, you go 6. 6.
Yeah, 6.
A bit of an average performance, but at the end of the day, you done what you done. He did catch him in one of the rounds. He was a bit hurt, but again, it was head, nose. But other than that, Ellis was boxing pretty sharp. Got his jab going. It was just decent performance from him, and it would be interesting to see what he does next and see if it's be a big 2024 for Ellis Zorro. And yeah, just overall good night of boxing, and good night of boxing. So thank you for joining me, Andre, and see you in the next one. Make sure you subscribe to Anything Blows.
And subscribe to SWS Boxing. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.